हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज जिस टॉपिक पे मैंने नोट्स प्रोवाइड करा रही हूँ वो आपका पॉलिटिकल साइंस इग्नू का बी ऑनर्स का पॉलिटिकल साइंस 101 अंडरस्टैंडिंग पॉलिटिकल थियोरी, उसका यूनिट 1 व्हाट इज़ पॉलिटिकल थियोरी, 2 अप्रोचेस नॉर्मेटिव एंड एम्पेरिकल। मैंने पिछले 2 पार्ट्स में इसके नोट्स प्रोवाइड कराए थे। आज ये मेरा लास्ट पार्ट है जिसमें मैं आपको इस चैप्टर के रिगार्डिंग नोट्स प्रोवाइड करा रही हूँ। तो टॉपिक है, इस पॉलिटिकल थियरी डेड? Many observers started believing that political theory is either declined or is dead because the classical tradition in political theory is by and large loaded with value judgments beyond the control of empirical testing. According to Easton, the political theory is concerned with some kind of historical form and has therefore lost its constructive role. He added that William Dunning, Charles H. McLean, and George M. Zabin are responsible for historicism in political theory. The 4 reasons given for the decline of political theory are historicism, moral relativism, hyperfactualism, and positivism. The reason analyzed by Easton for the decline of political theory in general and its decline into historicism in particular is as follow. The first and the foremost reason is the likelihood of the political scientist to conform to the moral propositions of their age, leading to a loss of the constructive approach. The stress is an uncovering and revealing one's values, which imply that there is no longer the need to inquire into the merit of these moral values, but merely understand their origins, development, and social impact. The second reason is the moral relativism, which is the cause for the attention a theory received from history. Now, next topic is revival of political theory. Traditionally, political theory existed in the works of Arendt, Theodor Adorno, Marcuse, and Leo Strauss. They believed in liberal democracy, science, and historical progress, and rejected political messianism and utopianism in politics. The study of art was mainly on the uniqueness and responsibility of the human being, and Strauss focused on the importance of classical political theory to remedy the crisis of the modern times. The authors of the classic in political theory were geniuses and measured in their writings. Aristotle believed that the political scientist has to be impartial as he possesses a more comprehensive and clearer understanding of human ends. He evaluated political things and defended autonomy of prudence in practical matters and views political action as essentially ethical. Strauss alleged that the new science is responsible for the decline in political theory, for it pointed to and abated the general political crisis of the West because of its overall neglect of normative issues. Political science and political theory as inseparable, said Vogelin. Now, next topic is approaches in political theory. The theorists in the past somewhat maintain a purity of conception in theory building and seldom outstep the framework they had chosen. This is not applicable in the contemporary times in which the theorists are a witness to a crop of theory which appears hybrid in nature. In all, there are three different conceptions which emerge in political theory: historical, normative, and empirical. First, we are going to discuss historical approach. There are many theorists who have designed their theories building on the basis of insight and resources from history. According to the opinion of Sabine, a question such as what is the nature of political theory can be answered descriptively. In his view, political theory becomes situation dependent, in which each historical situation sets a problem which in turn is taken care of through solutions devised by the theory. Also, Goban believed that the traditional mode is the right way to consider the problems of political theory. The historical conception also contributes significantly to our normative vision. In all, the belief of political theory is that each specific situation is unique, riddled with new challenges. The utility of the historical approach in political theory beyond a certain level is doubtful, as it is always wedded to outmoded ideas from outmoded ages. Next approach is normative approach. The normative conception in political theory is also known as philosophical theory or ethical theory. The conception believes that the world and its events can be interpreted in terms of logic, purpose, and ends with the help of the theorist's intuition, reasoning, insights, and experience, or it is a project of philosophical speculation about values. In all, these theorists conceive utopia in the realm of political ideas through their powerful imagination. The normative theory was advocated by Leo Strauss, who argued that political things by nature are subject to approval or disapproval, and it is difficult to judge them in any other terms except as good or bad and justice or injustice. The issue with the normatives is that while professing values which they cherish, they portray them as universal and absolute and do not realize that their urge to create absolute standard for goodness is not without pitfalls. The exponents of empirical theory criticize normativism for relativity of values and cultural basis of ethics and norms and ideological content in the enterprise and abstract and utopian nature of the project. Next topic is empirical approach. The empirical political theory dominated in the 20th century, which derives theories from empirical observation. This theory refuses to accord the status of knowledge to those theories which indulge in value judgment. The drive for value free theory started in order to make the field of political theory scientific and objective, and hence a more reliable guide for action, which come to be known as positivism. This empirical project in political theory was premised on the empirical theory of knowledge, which claims to have the full blown criteria to test what constitutes truth and falsehood. The behavioral revolution started, which reached a commanding position within political theory in the 1950s, and some new features were added, which includes inspiration to quantitative technique in analysis, demolition of the normative framework, and promotion of empirical reason, which can be susceptible to statistical test, rejecting the history of ideas and focusing on micro study as it was more amenable to empirical treatment, idealization of specialization, obtainment of data from the behavior of the individual, and urge for value-free research. Karl Popper designed the principle of falsification and a criterion of scientific knowledge and argued that all knowledge was conjectural, tentative, and far from the final truth, and Thomas Kuhn, Emir Lukatos, and Mary Hess blasted the so-called scientific theory. Kuhn's book, The Structure of Scientific Revolution, was a pioneer in bringing out the shortcomings and failures of the positivist theory, which demonstrated how all cognitions were dependent on understanding and interpretation as a means of intersubjective communication. Now, last approach is contemporary approach. Contemporary political theory came into existence in the 1980s and 90s as a reaction against the established traditions in theory and put the categories of enlightenment like reason and science, to which all traditions in political theory were tied, to a scathing and searching criticism. Broadly, the theories of the contemporary theorist can be summarized as follows. First is opposition to universalism. According to the theorists of this time, liberal universalism was devoid of a social and temporal context and believed that the hidden particularism, mostly based on society, has masqueraded as universal values and norms. The communitarian theory and the multicultural theory in recent times have highlighted it quite forcefully and called the so-called universalist theories as exclusivist at the core, which has always presented one vision of good as the only vision of mankind. Second part is critique of grand narratives. The critics of grand narratives believe that there is an overarching or transcendental foundation of reality and truth. The postmodernist also attack by saying that there is nothing like objective pre-given reality or an objective social good which can support such grand narratives and their designs. Next part is post-positivism. In accordance with the contemporary theories, the value-free enterprise is useless and believe that political theory is an inherently normative and politically engaged project which is supposed to offer prescription and a vision for the future. Last topic is of contemporary approaches, empirical and comparative. The empirical comparative methodology would be a check on the broad generalization across cultures and continents. There are many weaknesses in the theory. Unlike classical political theory, there is not much comparative empirical inquiry as yet, and the tendency among theorists to borrow from the other theorists is galore. तो ये था मेरा आज का टॉपिक, और अगर आपको मेरा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो प्लीज़ मेरे चैनल को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, बेल आइकन दबा दीजिए ताकि जब भी मैं कोई नया वीडियो डालूं तो आप तक उसकी नोटिफिकेशन पहुंच जाए। इग्नू से रिलेटेड या एनसीईआरटी से रिलेटेड अगर आपको कोई भी चैप्टर के नोट्स चाहिए, हिस्ट्री के, ज्योग्राफी के, सोशल साइंस के, पॉलिटिकल साइंस के या सोशलॉजी के, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के, तो आपको अगर ग्रेजुएट लेवल के चाहिए या पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट लेवल के चाहिए तो मैं नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में अपना नंबर प्रोवाइड करा दूँगी। उस नंबर पर आपको सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप मैसेज करना है, कॉल नहीं करना है। सॉल्व असाइनमेंट चाहिए या प्रीवियस ईयर सॉल्व क्वेश्चन पेपर चाहिए तो वो भी आपको मिल जाएंगे। हैंड रिटन भी अवेलेबल हैं और प्रिंटेड नोट्स भी अवेलेबल हैं। तो आज के लिए बस इतना ही। नेक्स्ट, बाय।